In the heart of the American Southwest, nestled amidst stunning landscapes, lies New Mexico. But beyond its natural beauty lies a story of remarkable economic transformation. From humble agrarian roots to becoming a hub for scientific innovation, New Mexico's journey is one of adaptation, resilience, and the pursuit of progress. In the early 20th century, New Mexico's economy was woven from the tapestry of its natural resources. Farming, cattle ranching, and mining were the primary ways of life.
I recall from my grandparents that it was much a ranching community, and that was where I grew up. But since then, the economy has evolved.
But in 1943, everything changed. The arrival of the Manhattan Project and the development of the atomic bomb ushered in the nuclear revolution, marking a turning point for New Mexico. Under the leadership of J. Robert Oppenheimer, Los Alamos National Laboratory was established, bringing a wave of scientists, engineers, and military personnel to the state. The potential of this remote desert landscape was immense. It offered a secluded and secure location for the most ambitious scientific endeavor of our time. The Manhattan Project was a catalyst for economic growth and development in New Mexico. It created thousands of jobs and attracted new industries to the state. While these changes unfolded, New Mexicans faced challenges within the agricultural sector. Overgrazing and erosion had taken a toll on the land, forcing many to seek alternative sources of income. These well-paying jobs close to home offered a promising solution. Throughout the years that followed, New Mexico became a center for scientific research and development, attracting talent in fields like physics, chemistry, and engineering. New housing, retail services, and healthcare facilities boomed, all thanks to the influx of government personnel and contractors.
Historically, our economy was based on the federal government, and that's because after the Depression, the science laboratories, Los Alamos and Sandia, were located in New Mexico. But the last 40 years has been oil and gas, and that's because of the 3 counties in southeastern New Mexico. Our biggest challenge has been to diversify our private sector economy.
In the 1930s, Robert Goddard, a pioneer in rocketry, sought a remote location to conduct his experiments without interference. He eventually settled in Roswell, New Mexico, where he launched 56 rockets from a nearby ranch. His work paved the way for future advancements in space exploration. The Cold War intensified, and New Mexico found itself at the forefront of the space race. The state's arid climate and unique geological features made it an ideal location for astronaut training and rocket testing. In the 1960s, the Apollo astronauts prepared for their historic mission in the rugged terrain of New Mexico. Albuquerque, in particular, became the hub for this technological revolution. While other cities remained focused on agriculture and mining, Albuquerque saw a surge in population and economic growth. By mid-1948, the population of the city of Albuquerque had increased by 2/3. Employment had more than doubled, and other measures of growth had tripled and quadrupled. During these mid-century decades, the state's economy was driven largely by government contracts. This dependence made the city and the greater region vulnerable to fluctuations in federal spending and priorities. Recognizing the need to diversify beyond government spending, pioneering economic developers embarked on a mission to attract new businesses to the region. In 1960, Albuquerque was heavily dependent on Kirtland Air Force Base, and that year the base's employment shrank. Real estate developer and investor Gene Hinkle thought the city needed to diversify and rounded up a handful of like-minded people to form Albuquerque Industrial Development Service to recruit new industry. Albuquerque Industrial Development Service, which was later named Albuquerque Economic Development, and is now known as Albuquerque Regional Economic Alliance, led the charge. It proactively advertised New Mexico's low manufacturing wage and incentive tools, such as industrial revenue bonds, to entice out-of-state companies. Governor Bruce King, who served 2 non-consecutive terms, from 1971 to 1975, and from 1979 to 1983, was highly engaged in these efforts, which paid off, leading to a surge in new business announcements in Albuquerque and across New Mexico. During the 1960s and 70s, companies attracted to the area included Spartan, Southwest, Boeing Aerospace Division, EG&G, Levi Strauss, and General Electric. During the 1970s, Albuquerque emerged as a hotbed for the electronics industry. Computers and software, the industry that would later be called information technology, began to take shape. Along with corporate giants Singer and Digital, startups made their mark. Albuquerque was the birthplace of the first personal computer. H. Edward Roberts, a former Air Force engineer, made the first practical, affordable home computer, the Altair. His Albuquerque company dominated the new industry. In 1975, he hired two young men to write software, Paul Allen and Bill Gates, who started Microsoft in Albuquerque. By the end of 1978, Microsoft's sales topped more than $1 million. Expansion outlook was arriving rapidly. In 1986, multiple factors such as loan availability and access to international flight options contributed to its ultimate relocation to Seattle. However, other new companies in the 1970s included Amity Leather, Elastimode, BDM, Motorola, the Social Security Administration Data Operations, and a second Levi Strauss plant. In 1979, Sandia became a national laboratory.
When I started business, our community really had a growth mindset. There was excitement around the technology that was being developed at Sandia National Labs, but also the fact that we became kind of a hub and a center of excellence for private industry to locate. And it really set the tone for our community and how it would evolve in the future.
The 1970s also delivered the biggest boost to tourism since the railroad arrived. In 1972, Sid Cutter organized the first hot air balloon rally in New Mexico. The next year, Albuquerque hosted its second balloon fiesta in conjunction with the first World Hot Air Balloon Championship at the state fairgrounds, with 138 balloons flying from 13 countries. In the 1980s, New Mexico's economy continued to grow thanks to the expansion and growth that took place in Albuquerque. With the notable location of Intel Corporation to the region, more companies arrived in Greater Albuquerque throughout the 1990s, with household names such as General Mills, the Gap's Corporate Shared Service Center, and Tempur-Pedic.
When I think of a leader who has had great impact, I think of Senator Pete Domenici. He was one of the first, I think, to really be vocal about the opportunity to develop a private sector economy around our strengths in the government economy.
I think today we target industries. We're far more strategic. There's a lot of collaboration, not only between business, government, but also educational leaders. So I think we have a far more strong pipeline than we used to.
Thanks to efforts in developing industrial parks, an aggressive job training program, and the use of business expansion and retention tools and incentives, Greater Albuquerque has significant industry assets and a promising future as a central hub for aerospace and defense, bioscience, renewable energy, film, and outdoor recreation.
As somebody born and raised in Albuquerque, I'm consistently impressed with the ambition that I see from young professionals across the city. I think we need to continue investing in things like downtown revitalization, like development projects that encourage people not to only work here, but to live and to raise their families here.
I think the most critical thing for us to invest in today is the art of the entrepreneur or the solopreneur. We have so much richness in individual people's dreams that if we don't take time today to harness the power of an individual's side hustle or dream job, then we will miss the opportunity to leverage that against the big names and big industry that could come in and help support our foundation.
In the last 10 years, New Mexico has successfully courted Hollywood, becoming one of the top filming destinations in the country by offering filmmakers a 25% refund of all in-state production costs and interest-free loans of up to $15 million. More than 150 film and television projects have taken advantage of incentives since they were introduced in 2002. Concurrently, other major firms such as Fidelity and Kairos Power have set up shop and continued to expand in the region.
I think what excites me most about the growing industries is that they appeal to young people. I think we see local universities investing in these fields, and I think it's important to have job opportunities for students when they graduate. I think it's important for us to invest in our future, invest in future generations, and not to remain stagnant. I think that we need to create opportunity for young people and for growth throughout the city.
Even amidst these successes, overall economic and job growth rates have not kept up with Greater Albuquerque's past trajectory, or with that of its competitors, due to factors including population growth, skilled labor, and business climate. Leading up to and following the Great Recession, companies have often considered New Mexico, but ultimately and more often passed it over in favor of neighboring states. However, that does not need to continue and cannot be seen as acceptable for the future of this innovative, creative, and enchanting state.
As someone that started multiple businesses here in Albuquerque and even sold a couple of them, I want to be known as the place that finds gaps in the marketplace and fills them. We've got a lot of creative people here. We have ambitious people. We have unrivaled technology coming out of the labs. Let's provide resources. Let's provide the infrastructure needed for our future entrepreneurs so that they can build their dreams and bring them to reality.
I think it's critical that we invest in smart and sustainable growth through economic policy, economic development, for example, in revitalizing downtown, providing local jobs, make it an energy hub for downtown and the city, supplying a safe place for people to go to and from and enjoy Albuquerque.
We can all agree that a lack of shovel-ready sites suitable for attracting new business investment, a negatively perceived business environment, and overall quality of life needs must be addressed to change our trajectory.
I think having the national labs here and our Kirtland Air Force Base has really helped smooth the highs and the lows of the swings that occur in an economy. The issues, I think, is we have not been able to necessarily take full advantage of that and diversify our economy, particularly in Albuquerque as we evolve into the next generation of technology, quantum computing, aerospace. The assets and the resources that exist at Kirtland Air Force Base, Air Force Research Lab, Sandia National Labs, and Los Alamos are going to be huge moving forward.
There's been a number of companies over the 45 years or so of area's history. What has impressed me the most has been the consistency of the effort and the professionalism of the effort. Area has been the most successful economic development organization in the state of New Mexico.
Recently, the New Mexico Economic Development Department provided suggestions to modernize our industry recruitment, infrastructure, and regulations. The Albuquerque Regional Economic Alliance has developed a regional strategic plan designed to diversify the economy and has created new partnerships with government and other nonprofit partners around the region and the state. Economic development leaders across New Mexico are focused on the urgency of building the physical infrastructure for site readiness, as well as soft infrastructure such as policies, tools, and assets that are needed to achieve the primary goal of improving the quality of life for current and future New Mexicans. The time is now to get involved and impact what our future will look like for the next 65 years.